The Amazing Spider-Man follows Spider-Man after the events of the Amazing Spider-Man movie, and it marks his first return to an open-world swinging game. So how is it? So we've been playing this game a lot because we were really, really excited and looking forward to it because I think unanimously all of our favorite game was Spider-Man 2.
Hell yes.
So we were really excited for the Amazing Spider-Man game because it was supposed to be a return to open world Spider-Man where you had the freedom to swing around New York City.
Which is really all that personally that's all I do as a gamer. Is I just goof around. Yeah, so that's all I was looking forward to. And I can have fun doing that. I'm not just saying I'm goofing around, but like I have a blast just swinging around.
It's the best part because that's what you want.
Well, that's what I was hoping to be the best part. I mean, it's definitely not like Spider-Man 2. Like the swinging around isn't as fun.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. But the game itself isn't that bad. I think it's packaged, it's a solid game.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think it's really worth the $60 like price, but it is a lot of fun.
You don't think it's worth the full $60 bucks?
It's a little shallow. Yeah.
And especially if you pre-order, you have to pay the shipping and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was worth it. You're right in that.
But
sense.
I mean, it is worth
playing.
Like it's probably more of a rent or like wait for it to go on sale. Like it's that type of game.
Agreed.
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I really want to it's the replayability is like there for me at least. Like I want to collect all the comic book pages.
Oh yeah.
I want to get all the alternate costumes. I want to do everything in the game.
Now, did you guys just out of curiosity? There were pre-order options. Did you guys pre-order for Stan Lee or no?
No, I didn't get that one. Unfortunately,
I did. I haven't done it yet, but I did.
Oh, man.
I got the Rhino Revenge or something.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We'll get into the villains in a minute too, Rhino.
The game is presented really well. The cutscenes are great. The voice acting, while it's not the people from the movies, they did a good job. They were very typical for their characters, and that's great. The story is good. It follows after the movie. It doesn't spoil as much as everyone thinks.
It doesn't spoil anything if you know the comics, I would say.
I mean...
Spider-Man wins in the movie. Spoiler alert! It spoils that.
If you just know how movies work,
right? Yes. Well, there's only I would say like they spoil like some deaths maybe or one death specifically. That if you don't know anything about comics, you'll be like, huh? But if you know anything about comics, everybody knew this. So it's not a big deal. I would say it's not that big of a deal anyway.
No, you can play it and be fine and not have to worry about it.
So the main event, the swinging, we'll get to that. But the rest of the game is a lot like Batman Arkham City.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a bad thing.
In combat specifically, but then also the way the game opens is just like Arkham, where you're like following
first-person.
Yeah, I was like, it's not even as good though.
No, it's not as good, but it's still decent. It's a polish. It's cool. It's not like craptastic like most movie games are. But I like the combat. Did you like the combat?
I think the combat's really cool, and like while fighting, you actually for the first hour of gameplay, I actually felt like a superhero.
It looks incredible.
Cool. I was like,
and then you realized you looked at your mom turned on the lights and she was like, "Are you in bed?"
Yeah.
You're like,
shut up, mom.
No, I think the gameplay is really cool, and what's cool is like you're not like super strong, like you're not like invincible, like
right.
You actually
you gotta hide a little bit.
Like I die a lot. Well, that's one thing I don't like. The stealth, I feel like. They kind of like half-assed it and toss it in, and it doesn't work as well.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not a fan.
I haven't used it enough to have an opinion.
It's simple and it's craptastic.
If the wall crawling actually worked, and did it make me feel like I was on acid?
Oh, you're talking about that weird camera.
You're all over the place,
right? The camera, like
if that worked, the stealth would.
That's hard to figure out. I feel like one day they'll figure it out, and it'll be like the revolutionary Spider-Man game. But that is kind of difficult because it's like, where's the camera go? It needs to be first person, that kind of thing.
I think that's what
it like kind of goes first person, but it's kind of just the camera being broken.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like
down.
Your controls are like all whacked.
It's inverted, yeah.
Exactly. If you're like on the wall, like you don't know like where to go, like you'll go.
Left and you go right,
but you'll go down.
Oh yeah, right.
The stealth animations are cool. It's just the stealth gameplay.
The fighting animations are cool too. It's just
it's awesome. All like the signature moves.
Yeah. Now I'm a button masher.
It is.
I don't know about you guys, but I was gonna say I pretty much just X Y X Y B.
Graphics wise, it's not the best. Spidey looks really good. Spidey's animations look good.
The details.
Yeah, his detail looks awesome. How his his suit like shines in the
that
sunlight.
Is great.
Looks fantastic.
The suit ripping is cool.
I love it.
Everything else just kind of looks half-assed. The city looks blocky. As Jake said before, the rendering distance is bad, and even like the enemies and like other like NPCs are just kind of like there. They're just there. You know, like it's nothing.
It's not bad.
Something crazy.
It's just not. It's just standard, I guess.
Oh no, it's not horrible. I'm not gonna not play it, but it's just
I'm
done
with this.
I'm a snob.
Well, I mean, at least I put like, at least I made Spidey look good, which is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Yeah.
So at least that looks.
The camera is very close on him all the time. I think sometimes a little too close.
I like that. I kind of like how close it is.
You like so you can see him nice and close.
Well, you can see all the curves.
Yeah, I bet.
And like the buns, you can see it's like perfect. So it's a very nice view, and I enjoy it.
Speaking of visual elements of the game, just one little thing we'd like to mention is the Twitter sort of thing they added in called the New York City Thoughts, which is I guess on the it's not on the start menu, it's on the loading screen. The loading screen, yeah. I forgot. So it's on the loading screen, and basically you can just scroll through a few almost Twitter type of things, but it's more of like a conversation, like a Facebook comment section.
That's cool.
I like it actually. I think it's fun. I mean, it's a little silly, but it's Spider-Man. It's, kind of goofy, but I like it. I think it's fun.
It's very cool because it works with events in the game, such as boss fights. When you fight a boss, after you fight a boss,
the reactions.
You know, like, oh my god, what was that boss? Like, you know, when you fight the Rhino, you fight Scorpion, stuff like that. Okay, so Rhino and Scorpion are in the game, and they're pretty cool, right? They're
we're moving on to villains now?
I guess so.
All right, let's do it. Villains, yeah. So Rhino, same old Rhino, pretty much. Well, not character-wise, but I mean, fight-wise.
Yeah, well, that's that. At first, I was I didn't like that, like how, like Rhino wasn't like
a guy in a suit.
Yeah. And then same thing with Scorpion. It wasn't McGarren or I still
whatever. I don't know.
But after thinking about it, I thought it was really cool how like they tied the villains into the whole cross species like experimentation.
Yeah,
and, like, you have the Vermin too.
It's different.
Yeah, like Vermin, I didn't even know. It was him until you go into the character bios and it says his name.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Like, yeah. And it's just cool to see, like, they mention other villains, too, like Michael Morbius, and, like, it's just cool
which I was like, what?
Yeah. They really tied them in, like well, and didn't make it cheesy. And
now, what about the robots and stuff? You know, like, fighting
they made
the
for
robot
cool boss fights, I think.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a big robot guy. I feel like that's kind of
Well, I mean, when I first saw the trailer, I remember telling you that I was really mad that it was like Spidey fighting robots.
Yeah, I was
didn't
exactly the
like
same. But that's pretty much like all they showed in that one trailer was like that one first robot fight, really. So it's all right.
But the fight is like as a boss fight, it's really cool. Like it's not super hard, but it's fun, and it kind of goes back to like an old school like '90s game where you have to like repeat the same thing, do it 3 times, and you win.
Now let's close it up with the most important part: the web swing, the open world web swing.
Now let's just say, in Spider-Man 2. They got it perfect. And pretty much since then, everyone's just asked, like, what's wrong? Like, why don't you just do that again? Because if you don't remember in Spider-Man 2, the physics of it were that your webs hit buildings.
Yeah.
You have to hit a building to swing. When you swing...
You have to let go.
You have to let go yourself. Otherwise, you just go back and swing back. Like, it's all realistic.
You hold you charge your jump, you charge your swing.
Yep.
It was like a Spider-Man simulator.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is much simpler and almost to the point of dumbed down. It's more of just make you feel.
Well, it kind of feels like the first Spider-Man movie game.
I don't even remember that really.
Like it's not that bad.
I do remember that.
It's like an in between.
Yeah, it's like an in between. Like you still, if you're in Central Park, you can't shoot your web.
Yeah, or you can't swing.
Sky.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you're too high above like the skyline, you can't.
Right. The web's attached to clouds basically in this. Like they might make it look like it's supposed to be buildings, but it's basically just going straight up.
Yeah, it is.
And even though you do have to be at a certain, altitude, it's still going like straight up.
It's still not as cool as Spider-Man 2. Like,
you know what it did?
Don't feel like
it's almost like it assumed that you could not make it cool on your own, so they tried to make it cool for you. You know what I mean? Which like I'd much rather. I loved being in control in Spider-Man 2, and I just don't feel like I'm in control as much, anywhere near as much in this one. Is it fun? Yeah, it's fun. But it almost feels like this would have been what we got in Spider-Man 2 in 2004, and then what we got in 2004 would have been what we get now.
Yeah, that's almost backwards.
It's exactly, it's kind of definitely like a downgrade. Like you said, it's like dumbed down.
Yeah, I will give them props, though, at least for how amazing it looks.
Oh, yeah.
The animations of him moving, the way the camera's so close.
And the detail, like we said, on
when
the
you go down into the street, and it's like, whoa! Like
it is a lot of fun still. But
it's still fun. It still looks really good. And when you tie in, like, the web time, I think it's called.
Oh, Web Rush. Web Rush. I like that. Yeah,
Web Rush is really cool.
Although, fundamentally, I haven't really found a real reason to use it.
It's just for fun, I think.
Well, I think so.
The comic book pages, too.
I use it a lot for the comic books, like the flying ones. Or if I fly past one, I just kind of pause time and like look like where'd it go?
Oh, where'd that go? Good thing Spider-Man can do that.
Yeah.
But I would say unfortunately that's really the only thing that I was excited about, and it was it was like you said, dumbed down. So I unfortunately, everything else is fine, but unfortunately that's all I was really looking forward to. So I got to give it kind of an okay. Yeah. What about you guys? You guys gave it higher than that, right? A little better?
Yeah, I'd say
a little bit. I mean, it's really fun. It's definitely worth playing. I just don't think it's worth
spending all that money.
Price that it is. It's more of like a Redbox or something like a rent.
You were gonna say Blockbuster.
What? It's a quick, good time. It's well made. There's nothing really terrible about it. Right. You know? And I had fun.
If you don't compare it to any other games, it's better.
Yeah.
If you don't compare it to Spider-Man 2, which everyone's going to, you can't help it.
So that's what we think of The Amazing Spider-Man. We're obviously big fans, and we love these games, and we nitpick. But we want to know, how do you guys like it? Did you play Spider-Man 2? Did you play this? And what do you like?
And if you didn't play Spider-Man 2, what do you think about this? Is this like perfect in your eyes? Try Spider-Man 2. Trust me. Let us know also what you think of the villains being like like we were talking about. They're different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same type of fighting thing like with the Rhino and stuff, but let us know what you think of that.
Also, let us know what you think of the Twitter and New York City Thoughts thing. I know a lot of people don't like it. We like it, but let us know down in the comments what you guys actually think about it.
And that's pretty much it.